Christmas time. And to discuss this interesting topic, BoyceTV.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and we're about to get it in on an important topic that's going on in the Black community right now, something that everybody's been talking about. The BET Hip Hop Awards, according to DJ Envy and a lot of other media sources, has been indefinitely suspended, along with the Soul Train Awards, which is quite a shocker because everybody kind of expected these stage shenanigans to happen every year, almost like Christmas time. And to discuss this interesting topic, we have the one and only and the great Madam President. How you doing today, Madam Press?
I'm doing pretty good, Dr. Watkins. How are you?
Doing very well, very well. I was really shocked by this announcement that they were indefinitely suspending the BET Awards. What do you make of that?
Well, if you can suspend something, it really makes me believe how can you suspend something that you say is for the culture or is the culture? So it really made me really take a lens to how we view what is for the culture, what is the culture. I mean, you talking about the Soul Train Awards. My grandmama and them used to watch the Soul Train Awards. So, like, how could you get rid of something that is, has just a lineage of progression as it relates to Black people in not just media, but in music? Rick James was on the Soul Train Awards, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, as well as Shaka Khan. These people was a part of that. So you just dismantling it right now in this current climate is telling me media is taking a big shift, the biggest that we've ever seen very quickly.
Wow. So yeah, I mean that is a big shift. Your grandma watched the Soul Train Awards, really? That's crazy.
Back in the day, they used to do the Soul Train line. You know how we do at the All Black National Convention, how we come in, we do the Soul Train line and we come down. I mean, that's a staple. That is something that Black folks do. Now, name a time in history you saw the KKK line up and do a Soul Train line. They do it. They don't got the ability.
Well, the Soul Train Awards, for everybody who wants to know, they were started in 1987 and they were named after the iconic show by Don Cornelius called Soul Train, which started in 1971 and ran all the way through 2006. And everybody who's listening, put a yes in the chat if you remember being excited when when Soul Train came on. I mean, there was no show like it. And I remember I used to get real excited when Soul Train came on, and then you get depressed when American Bandstand came on. Bandstand, bandstand. Are you old enough to remember that?
No, Dad, I can't remember that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I was a little kid, Dick Clark used to host American Bandstand after Soul Train. And I guess that was like their white response to black black musical culture. I'm gonna say black music culture because black culture is not always defined on the dance floor. It's also defined in the classroom, it's defined in the boardroom, it's defined in the home, right? So let's stop thinking that all of black culture is all about dancing all the time. However, we can dance quite well. And I feel like Soul Train really was soul, and so then they had the Soul Train Award started in 1987. So this is a big deal. What do you think? I mean, I think this is huge. What's his third? Is that almost 40 years, 38 years, and now they're dropping it? That's crazy.
Absolutely. And what's crazy is I can't help but just what I see happening is have Black people are going to have to redefine who their Black celebrity becomes. See, the Black celebrity has always been the celebrity that's been assimilated and close to whiteness or proven or picked up by a big music label. Now you're going to have to do the work to find and create your own community celebrities, because once they remove the stage and your favorite artists don't have that stage to perform on, who are they? How will they reach you? How will they connect to you? So during those moments when they have the Soul Train Awards going on, or just the BET Awards in general, this is how they connect. After they have a great performance, people go online, they start talking about it. So whoever is on the stage gets an opportunity to amplify their brand. So once you remove all of that, who's your Black celebrity? Which one do you watch? Who will you pay to see? And if that becomes a thing where, oh man, they're going to really start streamlining who gets chosen, who doesn't, because the slot is going to become smaller, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, one thing about this cancellation suspension, if you will. I mean, I know that I saw on DJ Envy's page where he shared a quote from one of the higher ups at BET where he's basically said that they are revamping and re-engineering the show for different platforms and stuff like that. And I have no reason not to believe that that's what's going on because the media landscape is changing. But you can't help but be curious about the timing of the cancellation. Now, how many of y'all? I want y'all. I want to do a black ownership quiz. We're gonna do an all black quiz right now to see how black you are in terms of understanding black wealth and ownership. How many of you know that neither BET nor the Soul Train Awards is owned by black people? How many of y'all know this? These are identified as black shows, and we believe that this is a black thing and this is black culture. They always tell you this is the culture. But how many of you know that these shows and platforms are not owned by black people? Give me a yes in the chat. And the reason I think it's important to start there is because you got to be real careful when you allow other people to own your culture. That means you're colonized. You're straight up colonized. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: give me a yes or no. Do you think the Jewish people would have a problem if I, as a black man, owned the platform that where every year I said, this is Jewish culture. This is the culture. This is Jewish. This is what it means to be Jewish. Do you think that they would even allow me to do that? Right. And I think that's important. So here's the ownership structure of BET. You got to follow the money. The Soul Train Awards and Hip Hop Awards are owned by BET. BET is owned by Paramount. Paramount is engaged in a very combative, which is very controversial, very detail oriented sort of merger with Skydance. Skydance was not being allowed to merge or to buy Paramount. They had to get approval from the Trump administration. So the Trump administration, with given that we have President Petty in the White House, right? He goes after all his enemies, including Charlemagne the God, right? He one of the things that many people speculate is that he told Paramount, like, hey, if you want me to sign off on this merger, you got to get rid of Colbert, and I wouldn't be surprised, Madam President, if he also said something about BET, which has been consistently used as a pawn, as a little hole for the Democrats. I mean, really, I mean, I say it like that because why in the hell are you out there on your platform telling people that if you're black, you have to be a Democrat, or you have to be a Republican? That don't even make no sense to me. So, what do you think? Do you think my theory might hold some weight to it?
I do. I do agree. I do believe that your theory holds weight. Malcolm X said that the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses. How come the white man know how powerful it is to own media? And we act like we struggle with that. Yes, he wants to say, I want to control what the masses have access to, who they're listening to. Now, America has been pushing diversity, and America has been pushing whatever the DEI is, the diversity, all of that. But as a black
Diversity, equity, inclusion,
man,
integration, all that. Yep.
all of that. But Trump is telling the American people, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, and let's just focus on what we want, and that is they want a white power infrastructure, and they want full control. He says get rid of him. He's saying get rid of whoever. I'll get rid of the white man that's a liberal. I'll get rid of the black woman that's pro-black. I'll get rid of whoever. I don't give a damn. In his words, those people have very low IQs. Mind you, he doesn't have a high IQ, but he's saying that he wants to control media. It's important. And my issue with us, Dr. Watkins, is that we could have controlled media. We could have been an entity that basically said, when the president called and the president said, hey, I want to, get rid of the BET and the Soul Train, the black people could have been in a position of power and said, Understood. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that. Have a good day. But if we got to get all their money, constantly be in alignment with the supremacy, constantly be in alignment with something so that we can get access to funds, then that's going to deter what we're able to do. And that's the problem. You cannot dismantle Master's house with his tools. You got to separate yourself. And I feel like we're constantly in that cycle, that hamster wheel. But Dr. Watkins, you told me this when I was a college, probably a sophomore in college. You told me you want to be a part of BET. You know, what happens with them is I want you all to go back to every person that's been on BET. Go back to Free. Go back to AJ. Go back to Roxy. Go back to Terrence. Where are they now? All that to say that wherever they are, I hope that they're well, but these people don't have platforms for you to leave to your children. They don't do that. You have to do that.
Well, we know the difference between we should know. I mean, everybody in this room, if you've been hanging out here, you know that my goal is to make sure that you understand how money works, so you'll have some. And a lot of the people watching, say, shout yourselves out in the chat. A lot of people watching this platform, it makes me happy. They have more money in their pocket now because they're here, and that is critically important because we know that wealth is power. And the people in this room, intelligent black people, understand there's a difference between being on the stage versus being versus owning the stage. There's a difference between being the loud puppet versus the actual puppet master. The puppet master appears quiet, but really the puppet master is the loudest person in the room. But if you don't understand how the hustle goes, you think the puppet is really talking. You think the puppet has a voice. You think the puppet has power. The puppet has no power without the puppet master. So I dare say this. With a lot of our black platforms and a lot of our black celebrities, they become the puppets. The people that are the same people that are over in Palestine shooting little children as they try to get food right now are the very same ones who control companies like Paramount and others who literally swoop in, buy your culture, and put out a little bit of money and literally have you thanking them for telling you who you're supposed to be. And it becomes very, very dangerous. So I wasn't surprised that the BET Awards or the Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards and the BET as a company was affected by this merger because it was like Paramount and Skydance and the Trump administration are elephants that are all fighting. They have economic power. They have real power. So the elephants are fighting and you're stepping on the grass. You're stepping on the crickets on the ground. BET's the cricket. Trump, Paramount, Skydance are the elephants and they just got crushed. That's what I'm seeing. So what are you so in terms of now I know that you've done a lot in the entertainment space. You're the only person I know who's worked at Tyler Perry Studios, Oprah Winfrey Studio, Ava DuVernay Studio, 50 Cent Studio. So you have extensive experience in the entertainment space. What do you think happens now? I mean, this is an important stage. Most black celebrities can't be celebrities without these platforms. What do you think they're going to do now?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe what's currently happening is Hollywood is making the biggest shift that it has ever had to make, and it's because of the streaming services. So you have all these different companies that are merging. All these different companies that had thousands of employees per company has downsized and said some of us have to come together. They're buying up everything. The industry in 2023 took one of the greatest hits. People were not just from the writer's strike, but there were strikes for all types of different